look inward and find ways that maybe you're holding yourself back for fear of being too different. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Tiff and Tony Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Tony, hello. How are you doing today?
Hello, I am doing okay today. I am upright, and that's probably as good as it gets today. Some days are not as good as others, but that's part of life. We have to keep going and work through it all.
Yes. Celebrate the small victories along the way to give you those little bursts of energy to get through those days that maybe just are less than ideal and a little more challenging.
Absolutely. And this is a good example to be vulnerable and honest with our listeners. We don't always have things go our way, and some days we can struggle, and we just have to make it through best we can, and that's okay. And so here I am, making it through as best as I can.
Yeah. Well, hopefully our conversation today might encourage some people. Today we're talking about why we try so hard to fit in, and just challenge you to stand out, step outside of yourself, and actually, I'll reframe that, to step more into who you are and to share it with the world. So Tony, what do you think about fitting in and why we do it, and what are you challenging us to do this week?
This is such a topic of importance, especially with this current generation, and I talk about it often actually with the kids I work with. I often say we're so busy trying to fit in that we fail to stand out, and I give them the example of like an excellent athlete, a world-class athlete. They are spoke about as a standout athlete. You look at that kid, he's really standing out. And it doesn't have to be athletics. It could be in the classroom. It could be, a math quiz. Wow, he's a really, really standing out in that math class. There's an old part of the brain. They actually call it the lizard brain. And it really does work, the fight, flight, survival type mechanism. And back in our days of roaming the plains, we would need to belong to a tribe. We would need to fit into that tribe because it protected us. It provided food for us. It kept us warm. There's so many benefits of fitting into a tribe that it was crucial for our survival. And so today we still obviously want to fit into a tribe, although we're not getting as much, physical protection and that need for food and warmth anymore. But it's still there. And when we're talking to teenagers, there is such a social dilemma with being the outcast, especially in today's social media world. They don't want to be the outcast. They don't want to be standing on the outside looking in. They want to be in. And so they work really, really hard at this fitting in thing, even if it goes against who they really are. And I mean that by there could be this desire inside of you to want to study the sciences. You love the sciences. And it's just a natural inward kind of drive that you really, enjoy being around them. But the group of friends that you're with could be jocks, and they're all sitting there pointing fingers at laughing at the nerds. And so you desperately don't want to be a nerd. So you'll do all you can to fit in with the jocks because that's your tribe. But what that's actually doing is it's going against everything that you stand for. And so you're not letting your true light shine when you're fitting in with the wrong crowd. So that's what I've got. What do you think about that? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think for one, this is really complex and complicated and tricky. because life is complex and complicated and tricky, and so are relationships. And as humans, we are naturally drawn to and crave community. And so we're not saying to not find community. What we're saying is don't let the community you're surrounding yourself with take away from who you are and let them define your identity. It's okay to be yourself and be different. Actually, everyone really is different from everybody else, and we have things that as humans we overlap and have things in common, and that's great. And what we're challenging you here to do is truly look inward and ask yourself, who am I? What are my hobbies? What are my passions? What are my values? What are my goals? What type of person do I want to be? And you can be that person while also surrounding yourself with people who might be different than you. So I think there's value in creating community that has similar maybe values and hobbies and things as you, because we're naturally just attracted to people who are like-minded. And also we can grow so much from people who are different from us. So putting that part aside, I want our viewers out there, and myself included, to really challenge yourself and look inward and find ways that maybe you're holding yourself back for fear of being too different, right? And we all do it. I feel like in my older age, I do it a lot less, which has been really encouraging for me, because when I was younger, I felt fairly paralyzed sometimes by wanting to just fit in and be the right type of cool or fun or funny or laid back or whatever it was so that people would like me. But what I found is the more I try to be someone who people like me, the more I feel disconnected from them, because I'm not actually being myself. And honestly, people can see right through that when you're not being yourself. And if you want true, genuine relationships with others and yourself, all you can do is be yourself. And yes, that's way harder than we're making it sound. It's not that easy. You can't snap your fingers or flip a switch and just, oh, now I'm who I'm meant to be. And I want to acknowledge that there's a process, a growing process. You know, our prefrontal cortex in our brain doesn't even stop developing until we're 25. So that in and of itself says that we're not even truly learning about ourselves until age 25. And even after that, you know, people are always growing and changing. So I guess I'm passing it back to you, because this is a little bit more of like a bigger philosophical human. There's no like tangible tool we can give you. But Tony, what are we actually challenging people to do this week?
Yeah, and that is so true, because it is so complex around us. But the idea of stepping out into an uncomfortable area to actually step into who you really want to be, right? And so, you know, go say hello to the group of nerds that everyone's telling you not to be, you know, and that's just an example. But the idea is, ask yourself what's really important to you. And the way of doing that, it's quite simple. If no one was watching, if no one was around, what would you be doing? Right? Would you be reading? Would you be drawing? Would you be dribbling with a soccer ball? If no one was around, what would you be doing? And that is your internal kind of, that makes up of something about like the who you are. And then you can go find people with similar interests as that. And like you said, Tiffany, we're not saying don't go into community and don't hang out with people who are not the same as you. In fact, that's actually, that's something that's good to do also. But to really be who you are, and to kind of let your light shine, then I would challenge you to go find the like-minded people who will let you be you. And as teenagers, we know that the nail that stands the tallest gets hit the hardest, which is why teenagers work so hard to fit in, because they don't want to be hit. And so we get it. We've been there. We've done this. We know that it's not easy, but challenge yourself. Try it. and just try and do something that makes you feel like you. And see where it goes. You'll have a blast doing it.
Yes. One of the greatest freedoms I think as humans we can find is being able to truly be ourselves. And just as a closing point, I want to encourage you that if you're afraid of losing friendships and relationships, if you're not truly yourself, those people probably aren't the people that are going to love you and support you in the ways that you need. And so, yes, you might lose relationships. However, I think when you step into who you truly are, you will find that eventually, hopefully sooner than later, you will find people who love you and support you for who you are and will challenge you to grow in the ways that you need to grow as a human, and they will have your back. Those are the people that you want in your life, that like you and enjoy you and love you for you. So go out there, start finding your true self, living it out, and you will make a positive impact in the world. You'll make a greater impact in the world if you can truly be yourself.
Awesome stuff. I love that. Thank you very much, Tiffany.
Yes, thank you, Tony. And I hope you have a little bit more energy to get through the rest of the day. You can do it.
Thank you for that encouragement.
You're welcome. All right.
All
Take
right.
care, everybody. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining Tony and me in this week's episode of the Tiff and Tony Show. We hope you feel encouraged and motivated to keep growing with us. If you like what we do here at PureGame, one of the best ways you can support us is by liking and sharing this video with your friends on social media. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel using the button directly below this video on YouTube, and you can donate at our website, www.thepuregame.org. And with that, we'll see you right back here next week.